And welcome to this bonus episode of Fools Rush In STFC Fan Chat. It's been a roller coaster week already. Despite having 10 men, we beat Forest Green, and now we still head into another massive fixture at the weekend, looking to keep our playoff push going. And as you can see, a win brings everyone out. They all want to have their say now. So let's do the hellos to the mega panel tonight, starting with, as you appear on my screen. Hello, Ned. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You all right, Fyfe?
Very well. Good to have you with us as usual. Friday night, Joe. Good evening, mate.
Hi, mate. It's good to be back. I love these end of week shows because I can actually get on them.
And we love doing them so that you can get on them. Craig is with us as well. He's managed to get off the railway line. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, it's amazing what a win can do. Yeah.
Rich is managed not to go to bed to do this one as well, because we are recording very late. How are you, pal?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Looking a bit tired. Are you going to last the episode?
Oh, I should do, mate. Should do.
As always, two ever reliables, Ben and Woody, are with us. Hi, Ben. How are you, Woody?
I'm all good, Stephen.
Good. Woody?
All good, thank you.
Good. Glad to have you all with me this evening. As is tradition, Rich, let's delve straight into the last game and talk about the win midweek.
Yeah, fantastic, wasn't it? Fantastic for the club, fantastic for everybody that was in attendance. Big attendance for a Tuesday night, of course. That playoff push is looking good still. Obviously we have got to rely on other teams above us, but at the end of the day, as long as we continue to be playing the football like we had done on Tuesday, it was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. You could tell it was a real team performance. Everybody was just there for each other. Everybody put their bodies on the line to get that game wrapped up, because we all know we wanted that game. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew it was going to be a tough grind for us, but I think it was a game that we all knew that we could win. And we started off fantastically well. What I will start to say is that it was a fantastic tribute in the 5th minute to Link as well. It was really good to see the players joining in on that, and almost stopping play as well. So that was really good. But to the way that we took both goals, and I think we were probably unlucky not to get more goals, to be honest with you. But the first goal was literally McCurdy's bread and butter, literally getting behind that last defender, playing the ball either cross goal. Sometimes he shoots himself, but he was unselfish, saw Barrow was coming on the back post, and he was an easy tap in for him. And I'll let the others talk about the other goal, but it was just a really good game. And if that doesn't give us confidence, I don't know what will. These last two games, I mean, tomorrow is more of a banana skin than anything. I think Walsall, we're all slightly confident in going up with 3,500 fans to Walsall, but I think Barrow is the one that we really need to focus on, because that is the game that could potentially define our season.
Well, I'm very interested in everyone's sort of view on the performance and result, and I've kind of tried to give you all an individual leeway in. So thanks for that, Rich. Joe, let's talk about going 2-0 up at that point, essentially in dreamland.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that impressed me the most was, first half, we've just completely outplayed the best team in the league, or so say the best team in the league. And the second half was a performance that I haven't seen from a Swindon team in a long time. As in players throwing themselves at the ball, running. I mean, Jack Payne, I don't know how he lasted the whole game with his little legs as well. He's running twice as far as him.
He's still running, mate. He's still running.
They're all unbelievable. All of them, Conroy and Baudry at the back, heading everything. It was just such a great team performance, and the crowd got louder and louder the later the game got on. You start cheering headers, you start cheering tackles, but you could see that it really did give the players that extra bit of energy to get through to the end. And that was what impressed me most, was the complete contrast from the first half of brilliant attacking, flowing football, and then really having to dig in and grind for the points in the second half. It was a shame because I think the referee lost the game second half and completely ruined it. It's just there was barely any football in the second half. It was all referee making decisions and time wasting, and as you would at 2-1 up, you're going to time waste. But it wasn't much of a spectacle second half. But the sort of togetherness of the team and the passion they showed to get those points was what impressed me the most, actually.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And those are sentiments echoed, I think, by a lot of people online. And that's actually what I wanted to ask you about, Woody. It was certainly a game of two halves after the red card and the overwhelming sort of response, particularly from fans online afterwards, that there was the mixture of relief that we got the result, but also the pride, not just that they won, that Swindon won the game, but particularly with what they had to endure for 10 men for so long. And there was a lot of people saying, every single one of them battled, worked so hard, stuff, like Joe was saying, stuff that isn't necessarily associated with all of, not just this Swindon Town squad, but maybe the last 2 or 3 seasons Swindon Town squads.
Yeah, I completely agree, actually. I think it was probably, in terms of the game as a whole, probably the game I've enjoyed the most at the county ground for a long time. For the pure factor of, like you've said, first half, absolutely beautiful attacking football. I mean, it was intense. It was beautiful to watch. And then the second half, we had to put in that grind. And what I think maybe kind of the proudness, if you like, came from it, and the pride that came from it, was the fact that the moment that Ellis got sent off, it genuinely felt like Forest Green were going to get away with everything. How that 22 still remained, on the pitch, I'll never know. It come out evident apparently that he actually spat in Johnny Williams' face as well. But it felt like after that moment he was going to get away with everything, and he had loads of the ball. But yeah, the grit, the determination is it something that we haven't seen for a while? I wouldn't say we haven't seen it completely in the last couple of seasons, but we haven't seen it to that level. We haven't had to soak up what Forest Green took to us. So yeah, it was really entertaining. We grinded out the result as well, and I think we deserved it more than anything. I think there were a couple of people that said after the game, maybe Forest Green probably deserved more than what they got out of it. But it always annoys me saying like that, because sometimes an absolutely brilliant defensive display should outweigh an attacking display. We attacked better than them in the first half, who gave us the lead, and we defended better than they attacked in the second half. So, absolutely kudos to every single one of them. And I was gutted that Ellis got sent off, because the first half, that's the best game I've seen him play at left back. And I just think, as I've personally seen him play at left back. So I was a bit gutted, and I'm a bit gutted he's going to miss Saturday as well. But yeah, what a performance. I was absolutely buzzing. I'm still buzzing now from it.
Well, again, you're all sort of, it has to be said, I haven't passed round an agenda, because you're all very neatly segueing into the next topic I want to talk about. Ben, let's discuss the red card. A big blow, as Woody was just saying there, and obviously we'll come on to the preview shortly. But yeah, to go down to 10 men so early in the second half, and did you think it? I mean, it was a second booking, wasn't it? So it's not like, do you think he deserved a red? Because 2 yellows is a different matter, I suppose. But it did seem to be, when you couple that with Joe's comments that the ref lost the game kind of thing, you do start to question one or two things.
Yeah, I think the game did go out of hand a little bit, and I do think their number 22 was trying to bait Johnny Williams so we could get another one sent off. It turned out we had to defend, because there was about 7 minutes injury time in the end, 45 minutes of 10 men. I think that's the best defensive display I've seen from us against a really good side who moved the ball around pretty quickly that I've seen with us all season. I think that last 45 minutes will probably do us more good than any performance this season, of the unity and the belief that's gone through the players, and now they've done that, there's no reason why they can't win these last two and may even win the thing. I think that's such a good confidence booster and fit and good for team unity. The wonders of confidence it will do for Conroy, who's been short all season of confidence. Bowdry is Bowdry before. This is the Bowdry I remember under Richie Wellens. It's fantastic. They just defended so well. And everyone as a team. And, they all put the yards in. McCurdy couldn't walk run for the last 10, 15 minutes. They worked so hard. And as you said, absolutely deserved it. I can't see anyone thought that Forest Green earned anything out of the game because they created nothing, and they're a good team. Their goal was slightly fortuitous. I'm just full of praise. About a whole game, I was sat on the end of my seat, just basically chewed my nails for that second half, but we did it, and it was deserved, and it was a wonderful performance. The game itself felt like a playoff game, and we need to bring that again to the weekend.
Ned, we've been critical at times, and we've called out our own fans. They've called us out for saying it, but we've called out our own fans at times this season. McCurdy came out and said that he wanted the fans, he wanted that 12th man. Garner echoed sentiments and said he completely agreed. And fair to say, the fans did turn up.
Yeah, and it's what I said in the last episode, isn't it? If they come out and be honest, and just ask people to do something, aka sing, then we will do. I mean, it's, as I said, as football fans, we tend to get comfortable. We've just had our our dinner or whatever. We sort of get a bit sleepy, and you sort of forget actually. You should be. There's something you should be doing at this game, but you get comfortable. No one around you singing. Okay, I'll remain quiet. But when they come out and say, "Come on," it's been quiet the last couple of games. Let's raise the roof here. Then people will do it because we want to get behind our own teams. We just seem to forget every now and again. But I just want to echo what everyone else is saying. And what a gritty, wonderful team performance in the second half. That was absolutely fantastic. It's already been mentioned, but Jack Payne, bloody hell, if the ball was being passed back to their centre backs, he was chasing them up the field, and it was just so impressive to watch. That number 22, Godwin Malif, I'm not sure if he spat in his face, I've got to be honest, but what I definitely did see was with Johnny Williams went to go and pick up the ball, and then Godwin Malif got it before him, and then went to throw it in his face, and then so Johnny Williams sort of reacted, sort of to dodge out of the way, and then he just laughed and shouted in his face. So whether he spat or not, I don't know. It might have been, it might have been a separate incident. I don't know, but that would have pissed me off big time. So fair play for Johnny Williams not reacting to that, because do you know what I mean? He really could have, reacted to that. But I mean. From the start of the second half, wasn't it? They weren't so bad in the first half, but at the start of the second half, you could see that they were goading. They were goading our players. The tackles were coming in harder, and there was a lot of talking, to the players as well. And you could just see. And then as soon as we got the player sent off, then you can see that the other players are saying, "Okay, everyone, calm down now," because it's like we've done it. We've got our advantage now. So it's ultimate shithousery. If that was Swindon doing it, I would have loved it, but because it was Forest Green, oh, the bastards. Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Considering some of our, defensive organisation over, the last half of the season, it was just so refreshing to see. And as you said, fair play to the fans. Everyone started singing and got behind the team, and when we needed to be louder, we were. So fair play to the fans.
No, absolutely, completely agree. And Craig, last but certainly by no means least, as we sort of said in the introduction, it was a performance to be proud of, but a result that we needed, and it keeps us firmly in the mix. Yes, it's still not completely in our own hands, but we did the job that was needed on the night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't see the game, but yeah, just to get the result, that was the the bare minimum. That's what we wanted, and like I said, it keeps us in contention, and it's still incredibly open there. You've got Tranmere and Salford below us, excuse me, and then Sutton and Rovers just above us as well. And it could be any two of that five. That go that finish in 6th and 7th for the end of the season. So the players did us proud by the sounds of it with their performance. The fans did the players proud with what sounded like generating a good atmosphere there, which was what like we were alluding to earlier with what McCurdy was saying. And yeah, we're there, and we've got Barrow. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy tomorrow, but they've done us a favour really. Their last few games, because they beat Forest Green, I think they beat Mansfield, and they drew with Salford as well. So they've taken points off the teams around us. So we know it's not going to be an easy game tomorrow. But
and Sutton as well. They beat Sutton as well.
Beat Sutton, yeah. So yeah, they haven't been great this season, but even though they got nothing to play for, we still got to, we got to make sure we do the job tomorrow. Looks like there's going to be a good crowd out there, with opening up the Stratton Bank as well. And yeah, I mean, it'll be great. It'd be great if we could fill the ground up. And I'm going tomorrow and taking my kids, and I'm hoping to break my duck for the season.
Oh dear.
No. Just a quick straw poll, if I may, based on the comments that Ned was making then. Obviously, our result coupled by Exeter's result, congratulations to them for getting promoted. They're now level on points. So do we believe that Forest Green will win the league, or do we believe Exeter will win the league? Ned?
Exeter.
Joe?
Exeter for me, best team I've seen this year.
Craig?
Exeter, they've got the momentum.
Rich?
Don't really want to see either of them, but I'd probably go Exeter. I haven't got much of a choice now, have I? Yeah, I'd say Exeter. They outplayed us when we played them away. Yeah, definitely them.
Ben?
I'd like to say Forest Green, but I'm going to say Exeter. I have a reason why I say Forest Green.
Because you have a friend in the States.
America.
No, it's not that. Forest Green's last game was against Mansfield. Mansfield's next game is against Salford. If they draw with Salford and don't beat Forest Green last up, then that opens the door for us.
Check Ben with an actual professional thought-out answer there.
Late, now had a few beers.
Nah, fuck the rest of the mass. Fuck Forest Green. I want Exeter to win the league now.
Excellent. Thank you, gents. Before we, or leading into discussing tomorrow's game, it is still tomorrow's game, isn't it? We're not quite past midnight yet. We stuck a couple of Twitter polls out as well over the last sort of 24, 48 hours. I'm just interested in your guys' specific views on it. So question one was predictions for Saturday, and 89.9% of people have said Swindon Town win. 7.2% said score draw. Negligible, it equates to 0%, said 0-0, and just 2.9% saying Swindon Town are going to lose. So, like I say, we're going to come on to the preview shortly, but just very briefly, Ned, are you within that sort of almost 90% thinking we're going into this game going to win it?
I think so. There is reasons why we might not win it, but I just think we've got real good momentum at the moment, and I think the crowd will be brilliant on Saturday. So I think that will carry us over for the win.
Okay. More interestingly, and I'll ask all of you guys for your thoughts on the next two. So as of right now, or at the time they voted, will we make the playoffs was the question. 50 for round figures, 55% said yes. 29% said no, and 16% saying I really don't know. Where are you at time of recording? Yes, no, or really don't know? Let's go in reverse order. Woody?
Yes, I think we will. Because if we win the last 2 games, I just can't bear the thought of having 77 points and not getting playoffs. So I'm going to say yes, we will.
Was a one-word answer, by the way, Woody.
Fuck you,
Rich
Reece.
gets that.
Go
Had
back
to
to
get you
bed.
there, mate. Had to get you there, mate. Had to get you.
Have you started on the drink already, Rich?
Nah, this is water, mate.
Yeah. We can't see what's really in there. Ben, where are you right now? Yes, no, or don't know?
Exactly the same as Woody. I'm thinking yes. I think if we do our part, which I think we will do, I can't see how a team can get 77 points with our greater goal difference than pretty much most teams around us and not make playoffs. So I'm sure someone will bottle it. Hopefully it's not us.
I was just giving him a moment there. That was an intentional pause to see if Rich also pulled Ben up for not giving a one-word answer, but he didn't. So clearly there's a bit of beef there between Woody and Rich.
I couldn't do it twice. It wouldn't have been funny the second time.
Shut up, Rich. We don't care. Next.
Rich, where are you on this subject?
Yes.
One word answer.
Craig?
Yeah, I was in the don't know. We're relying on too many other results to be certain.
Not that many. One team fucks up, then we're in.
Yeah.
We're in. Yes.
I think one.
Just need one of those teams above us, and then
Any team from 3rd to 7th can be caught.
And we can still get automatics, by the way, guys.
I mean,
that's like 1,000 to 1, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Great if we did, though, wouldn't it?
I think 3rd, 4th, and 5th are just out of our reach.
You're probably right.
I think if we're going to get one, we're going to get the last playoff space.
We're looking at either Rovers or Sutton, I think.
I think Mansfield might be one,
Mansfield, because they got Forest.
Mansfield, they've got tough games. Salford away.
I think they might have just had enough to get them over the line, Mansfield. But...
And just had to find a way of basically saying it could go either way without actually.
Ben's arse is full of splinters from that fence that he sits on every single question. Joe, where are you on this one?
If we win both our games, then yes.
And Ned?
I'm saying definitely yes, because I reckon Bradford beat Sutton on Saturday. So,
okay. And the third
Still
question.
got to win our game though.
What?
We've still got to win our game though.
Already done. We've already won it.
Fuck's sake!
It's usually me.
The third question.
What are they, Ben? What kind of club? Our Barrow.
If we
No.
But if we don't win tomorrow, can Ned get the blame and not me?
And not me.
Yeah.
We're going to win.
And you always get the blame, mate.
I know.
Question 3, and I actually expected this vote to be a little bit closer than it was. So clearly people are still on a high from midweek. And it's, if we do make the playoffs, what happens? And again, I'll round the figures up and down. Lose in the semis got 16%. Lose at Wembley again, 19%. We are going up, come on you Reds, 65%. A lot of positivity in that vote that should we make the playoffs, we're going to win it as well. Ned, where are you on that one?
100%. We'll beat Port Vale in the first game, and then we'll beat Mansfield at Wembley. That's how it's going to go down.
Okay. Well, as you know, Mystic Ned has come out tonight. That win over Port Vale that you've described, is it going to be nice and straightforward, just 2 90-minute games, or are we going to see another 27-26 like it was against Sheffield United, or is it
Port Vale's pitch, according to Rich, suits Swindon?
Yeah, so Port Vale, one of the best pitches in the league apparently, and suits Swindon's style of play.
Yeah,
big pitch.
Woody agrees.
But yeah, Ned, is it going to be a nice, easy qualification, or are we going to penalties, or what's happening there? Comfortable. Oh, excellent. Joe?
I'm afraid I'm probably in the 16%.
Lose in the semis?
Yeah.
Well, this is why we do these. We can't all agree on everything. Craig?
I just think we wouldn't have enough over 2 games against teams around us personally, but I'd love to be proved wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, interesting thought process, Craig.
Yeah, I think if we get to the playoffs, it's inevitable we'll get to Wembley, but I think we'll lose.
So you're in the 19%.
Yeah, it will continue our poor record at the new Wembley, and we'll end up, and it'll be against Rovers. You can guarantee it, and that wanker Barton will be like fucking unbearable. So yeah, that's just me being pessimistic and all, but I could just see it happening. We'll get. I think
Rovers will get third. Actually,
I think they'll get third.
I mean, we'll celebrate like we've already gone up when we, at the end in the last game against Warsaw, and then we'll just have our hearts broken at Wembley by Joey Barton.
I like how you've all come up with a little narrative for your answer for this. Rich, what's your story of the playoffs?
I'm in the 19%. I think if we get Mansfield, I think we're in the final. Then I think we'd lose it. I just don't see us beating Mansfield.
Okay, not even in a one-off game.
No, and especially not at Wembley either.
Okay, Ben.
I'm on the 66%. How many times have you seen the team that sneaks in playoffs on the last day and the euphoria of the playoffs takes them on and upwards to playoff victory? I think we're playing a team who will be disappointed from not making automatics. And I think we'll be off the back of 4 wins on the spin. So we'll have momentum, we'll be flying. The carrying ground will be buzzing. I think we'll do it.
Okay. And finally, Woody?
100%. If we get in the playoffs, we're going up.
Excellent. That's what we like.
Because the only way we can get in the playoffs is by having this big momentum. We're getting in there. We'll win it because I probably won't be at the playoff finals, so we'll probably win it. And fuck it, we've just beaten the Champions League twice this season, both with pretty weakened squads, so we can beat anybody in this league now. We've got to have that belief. We will win the playoffs this season if we get it.
The thing is, though, you say that we know we can beat anybody, but the trouble is we can lose to anybody as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's just giving this really positive speech, Joe, and you have to go all fucking negative.
I'm just grounding it a bit, just grounding us down a bit.
You're relying on historical stats, my friend. Okay.
Woody's at the point.
Woody's had a drink.
We have just come off the back of beating a team when we've only had 10 men. That is unheard of. So for us,
we also drew to Colchester, who had 9 men. So
yeah, but fuck Colchester, they're just shit. They're just.
Don't worry, Si's not due on anytime soon, Woody.
Yeah, sorry, Si, but you're shit. But yeah, no, we're gonna do it, and I want Bristol Rovers because in fact, if we get Bristol Rovers, I'm coming back off my holiday to go to the playoff final, and then I'm gonna sit behind Joey Barton and just mug him off the whole game, put him turning off his game.
Your missus not with you tonight, Woody?
She probably can't hear me. That's fine.
Well, I enjoy the mix of reactions, but very much enjoying your positivity this evening, Woody. And Joe, shut up. Stop being so negative.
It's late, mate. It's late, isn't it?
It is very late. It's about time we went to our sponsors and had an advertisement break, I think. But no, we don't do that. Everyone hold up a different sponsor. I've got who have I got? I've got Asda Stillwater sponsoring us.
You're more welcome to send me more of these.
Yeah, okay, nice.
I have Virgin, but they keep fucking up my broadband, so they can fuck off.
Any sponsor you want to put forward, Craig?
No.
Craig, strictly a BBC man, no adverts.
No.
Let's talk Barrow then, guys. And I think it's first only wise to talk about opening the bank. Who wants to jump in on that one?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea, and this has been driven by the Supporters Club and the Trust as well, from my understanding on social media. Making it £10 an adult is a stroke of genius in my view, because it's like we're getting 10,000 plus already for a lot of our games this season. How many more do you think you could get in? into the ground for this game, even though it's as important as it is, by opening up the Stratton Bank and making it pretty much cheap as chips. If you're an adult and you've got a couple of kids under the age of 11, that's 12 quid, which is fucking absolute bargain. So it is a really good idea. If we could get all four sides of the ground with noise, that'll be brilliant for the players. They wouldn't have experienced that this season, not that amount of noise anyway. It'd be great. I mean, I said before, I tweeted Stratton Bank was where I grew up supporting the town on those terraces and everything. So I got a lot of fond memories there when it was standing. I probably won't go on the Stratton Bank tomorrow because I'd already got my tickets for the Don Rogers, but plus where it's seating, it's probably not the same, and I'm probably just being a sentimental old bastard. But I'd like to remember it as it was in the good old days for me. But yeah, it's a great idea, and hopefully eventually once all our plans for redevelopment are done, it'll be more of a permanent thing.
No, I completely see that, and I even understand the sentiment of you wanting to keep the memories as they are and not changing them. We've already sort of spoken about how confident the people on the poll were, and Ned said how confident he is. So let's go around everyone then and see what they think for the game itself. Joe, I'll ask you first. What are you expecting, and how confident are you?
Well, I'm expecting about 4-0 win. I said to my mate before the game on Tuesday that Barrow was the one I was most concerned about. I was confident with Forest Green. I'm confident about Walsall. But Barrow is the one that I feel it'd just be so typical Swindon to slip up in. Big crowd, should be an easy game, and Phil Brown shithouse as a 1-0 win. But generally, I am confident that we will win. I think we've the momentum we've got, the confidence they'll have especially from the other night. I am confident that we'll win, but I do have that concern that it's a big banana skin.
Rich, it's worth noting. I mean, I like Joe's positivity that he's expecting a 4-0 win, but when you look at Barrow's results just in April alone, a narrow defeat to Exeter, they beat Sutton, they drew with Salford, they hammered Forest Green, and a narrow defeat to Port Vale that they also lost to Crawley, but apparently all the good teams lose to Crawley. They're not going to be easy, are they?
No, I don't think they are. I watched the highlights of their game against Exeter the other night. I was actually quite intrigued about it. And, they have obviously beaten like the big teams, but most of their wins have actually been at home. They haven't actually done as well away from home this season. But one thing that they do have, and we always seem to struggle with, is they've got a long thrower. And, I think, although, we should really be winning this and we should really be comfortably winning this, it's one of those things where something like that could literally just put our confidence straight back down again. And, I think Garner needs to get that right. He needs to be aware of this long throw that they do have. And, he's got to set up properly. If he sets up all right, great. And if the goal comes from, if they score a goal and it comes from absolutely nothing, we've just got to keep our heads up and just play our football and try and score. It's all well and good and easy in hindsight to say things like that, but we can't let things like one of their shithousery long throws. But that's the way that they get through games, Barrow, and that's the way they've stayed up this season. Because otherwise, if they didn't have that, I reckon.
And the fact that there were two teams a lot shitter than they are.
There's that too, yeah, absolutely. And I personally feel they got. I want to say they got lucky when we played them away from home. We didn't turn up that game, but their pitch was absolutely horrendous as well.
Both teams play on the same pitch.
They do, but obviously
the pitch wasn't an excuse that day. It was just a fact the players didn't turn up.
They didn't turn up. No, they didn't turn up. But Joe, the pitch was really bad though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it was pissing down for 24 hours.
I'm not like, yeah, no. But yeah, it was one of those.
You got to put the effort in. They put the effort in. We didn't.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And that's what I said. Yeah, I just don't think they turned up. But you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? So, but I'd like to be reasonably confident, but like Joe said, this was the game that I was most worried about, other than Leyton Orient. So, you know, we've got to go in with the same positivity, same intensity. Need to make sure that Garner gets the team right, because if he gets that right, gets the tactics right, knows what Barrow's strengths are, then, you know, it's all down to the players then. As long as Garner's done his homework, which we know he does do, we should hopefully be okay.
Woody, I'm interested in your opinion from a selection point of view. We've gone from having a left back we really like and someone who's got good form in midfield that can cover left back to now having neither of those players available.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, although it pains me a little bit to say it, that if we switch to three at the back on Saturday, it wouldn't surprise me at all, especially if Baldry's playing, just because I think we might want that extra centre-back body in there. And like you say, we're slowly running out of full-back options as well, to be totally honest. So it might be better to have somebody, you know, to have the wing-backs options. And it would, if we set it up right, it won't change our way of play too much either. And if we play three at the back, it'll help us with the kind of long ball, because it's not just their throwing; they're a long ball team as well. So it should help us with that as well. As much as I'm not being a massive fan of us having three at the back this season, I think given the form that Conroy and Baldry are in, I can't see O'Brien not playing if with the if we got the long throw issue. So I think it will be them three at the back, and then, you know, it could be anybody on that left-hand side, really, to be totally honest. But
I think you've got to go with the formation that will suit the team that you're playing. I just think, you know, I think there's no point of keeping the same system if they're not gonna, if they're just gonna play their game. You know, we've got to. Like we've said before, we've got to have more than one plan, and we've got to go with the plan that will match and probably better our opportunity in winning the game. And obviously, if that doesn't work, then go back to what we usually do and see how that works.
I think we need to stay with the 4-3-3 we're in. It gets the best out of McCurdy and Louis Barry.
Or go
but you could still do that.
3-4-3.
That's what I was going to say. You go 3-4-3 and you'd still have
He likes three in midfield, though, doesn't he, Garner? He likes to have those three central players. I think
could the four not be more of a diamond then?
Well, potentially, but then you're changing the whole makeup of a team, then, aren't you? That's the thing.
Yeah,
instead of just changing one or two things, you're changing the whole shape. I think personally, he'll just put Odemeo in at left back. Rich would be happy about that.
I'm with Joe. I
think you got to stick with what the team's been successful with in the last few weeks. You know, they've just had a terrific performance the other night. Odemeo's perfectly all right. He's not a left back, but he's perfectly capable defender from long throws and
yeah. But I also think, Joe, though, that from the emphasis of the 4-3-3, how, you know, the reason it normally works well is because we have an attacking left back in LSI and Andelo.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
And Akin isn't going to offer that. I agree on the sentiment of just changing one player, but I also, to be fair, I also think that I reckon he probably had plans to play three at the back even before. So
I think if we've got Odemeo at left back, I think they'll sort of make it sort of hybrid. I think what they'll do is throughout the game, Odemeo will move back to centre-back position throughout the game when.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Be a three when defending.
Exactly. So that's how I think it's going to work. I mean, I don't think he's going to attack too much, and just as Joe said, it will turn into a three when they come on the counter. I think that's probably the plan, but we'll see, won't we? I guess.
I think we've been more attacking with the 4-3-3, and that's obviously what we need to do on tomorrow. But also, if you look, Barrow have conceded less goals than we have, so they're not that bad defensively. So we need to, and we know how hard it's been for us to break teams down. So I think we're more likely to do that with a 4-3-3 than and also sticking free at the back just for for the header. I think personally, if that long throw is such an issue, then he should drop Baldry for O'Brien.
I would say just basically add on that, you've also got to look at the two fullbacks as well. Like obviously Manny Egbo, he's not in 100% form, fitness even. Odemeo, he can be prone to making mistakes. So I don't know, maybe
you just had to throw it in, didn't you?
It's I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be an interesting selection tomorrow. I think
regardless of how we play, and I know I was asked about the tactical question, but regardless of how we play, I actually think we could play 4-3-3, 3-5-2, or whatever. If we don't start how we started against Forest Green, I mean, Ned's branched upon it many a times. If we don't score in that first 20-25 minutes, we won't. I think we'll get more and more nervous as the game goes on. However, if we can score, I mean, we all said, didn't we, in the chat that we scored on the 15th minute after Ned's report last week of within the first 15 minutes. If we can do that again, I think, like Joe said, it's going to be 4-0. It will be 4-0 if we can score early again, and that doesn't matter what system we're playing. I think it's all about how quickly we can score. I think it doesn't matter what tactics we're playing or anything. On Saturday, tomorrow, it's about how quickly we score that first goal. But yeah, and then we can just deal with the rubbish afterwards.
Okay. Ben, they were mentioned a little while ago in the chat, but it was quite evident, particularly in that first half against Forest Green, that McCurdy is working his way back to fitness. Barry looks plenty sharp now, just about at the right time.
I've read a stat today. They've played 6 games together, Davison, McCurdy and Barry. In that 6 games, we've won 5, lost 1, and the one we lost was Salford when they both went off injured. And in that 6 games, we've scored 17 goals. Wow. To do a Ned's stat.
Fuming you've pulled that.
Sorry,
Ned.
By the
way. The Ben report is in competition with the Ned report.
We need to go early. The thing with Forest Green, we went with intensity.
Ned, you need to interrupt
him. We went at them. So if we do, I'm expecting us to do the same, and hopefully just to knock Barrow on their back foot. And hopefully, if we can get a goal in the first 10 minutes, we'll be cooking. But long as those 3 are on the pitch together, we can create a goal from anywhere. So I'm confident. I'm more confident than this time of the season than if we played them in November, when it's just another game on a Saturday when the Carrick Ground's quiet and there's not much intensity and the game pretty much goes as Barrow wants. Then now, when the crowd's up, there'll be noise coming from where there'll be high intensity, high tempo, as it was hopefully in the Forest Green. I think we'll win.
Ned, there seems to be a lot of positivity around about this game, whether that's because of the result and performance on Tuesday, the belief coming back in, not just from us talking, obviously, but we saw it in the vote as well. But in terms of Barrow, is it just the long throw and sort of the for want of a better phrase, the long ball tactics that they deploy that we need to worry about, or is there a bit of craft, a bit of guile in there that we, it's going to be difficult for us and we need to stay switched on?
Well, they've got pacey wingers, haven't they? They've got pacey wingers, so that's another thing that we need to watch out for. But otherwise, other than the pace out wide, there isn't much else. I've got to be honest. I don't want to sort of go into how shit they are because that's just the kiss of death, isn't it? Timber. But they got Ollie Banks, who
I was just going to say Ollie
Banks is a good player.
I was going to say it.
So obviously with his swindling Unbelievable, Ben. Once again.
Oh, fucking hell, I did it I was so well until
Ned
that
didn't
moment.
interrupt
I've
you
been
at
so
all,
quiet
Ben.
and
He's
conscious.
done it again. You fucking little bastard.
He's done it again.
Ned,
He's
I should have
He's
washed
done
my
it
hands. I
again.
apologise.
Interrupting
Ollie
Ned.
Banks,
He's
I was
done
only
it
agreeing
again.
with you, fella.
Oh, thank you, Ben. I'm so glad you interrupted me to agree with me.
I interrupted you to agree. It was an interruption of admiration and agreeing.
Shut up, Ben. Let him finish his point.
But we all know that anyone who's had some form of previous history with Swindon, they're always bound to score. So I would like to see Swindon score at least 2 in the first half, just to give us that comfort level, because I cannot see Barrow scoring 2 goals. So I think it's going to be one of those ones, like Woody said, first 20 minutes. If we can get a goal, then it could be a blooming cricket score as far as I'm concerned. But but it's just when we get past half time, it's still 0-0. They've got 11 men behind the ball at all times. That's when the old sphincter starts to twitch, shall we say. Yeah, I'm confident that so at this end of the season, as we all keep saying, it's all about momentum. I would hate if all of our games leading up to the playoffs were all scrappy sort of 1-0 wins, because you can't there's nowhere to hide in the playoff semi-final. You can't just scrape through. If you're moving into those playoffs, with full of confidence, you're passing the ball well, everyone looks in good form, then you've got every chance of getting promoted. And at the moment, everyone is looking good. So as long as we can, not get any players injured or sent off, any more players sent off, shall I say, then we should be A-okay. It's just all about managing our players now. So I'm confident as long as we can put in performances. Louis, Barry, McCurdy and Davison are so important. If they put a shift in, then we're bound to win.
That's the key, isn't it? We need to play our game, not worry too much about theirs. Obviously, you've got to think about how they're going to play. But if we play our game and play to the best of our ability, we'll do them tomorrow. But the thing is, it's like you were saying, Ned. If it's 0-0 at half time, it's not just going to be the players, it's going to be the crowd that's going to start to get a bit antsy, aren't they? I think if we can get 1-0 up before half time, doesn't matter when it is, even if it's like the 44th minute, that will do it. That will do it. We'll go from strength to strength. But yeah, the longer it goes on, and especially if we're not breaking them down, like we have struggled at home a lot this season, then that's going to be it's going to be difficult to see if we could turn that around if we get into half time at 0-0. Like we said, that first goal's key. If we get in 1-0 at half time, we should be away and just play our game, play to our strengths, like you said, with Louis, Barry and McCurdy.
Absolutely. The crowd just need to be aware. And, I'm saying this because, I know that some people get frustrated when we've had a lot of the ball, we don't create the chances, it all starts to turn a bit sour. But people just need to be aware that Barrow are going to be having at least 10 men behind the ball at all times. They're going to be really difficult to break down.
Do they play that way though, Ned? I don't
know. They will do for sure. They will have.
But will they? Because and
they got nothing. They got nothing.
They've got nothing to play for now.
I don't.
Because everyone knows this is how you play Swindon. This is how you beat Swindon, and
not necessarily when we've been at home. There's Newport didn't do that and they beat us.
But I mean, you look at earlier on in the season, the only teams that we certainly weren't playing well against are the teams that sit back and defend and then shit out a 1 goal or 2 goals.
Rochdale did it as well. Well, they got a point, didn't they?
They were shit. And we were even shitter that day. That was a really bad day.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just going to be.
They will shit house.
They will shit house, fair enough,
for sure. Yeah. 100%. They will be getting players behind, because this is what they're all about. They're all about organisation and defence. And where they've struggled to score goals this year, so I mean, they would be much further up the table if they had, if they were more attacking, shall we say?
Well, yes, but that with all due respect, Ned, that's easy to say about anything. I could say Swindon would be further up the table if they didn't draw so many games or lose so many games at home.
But
Also, you said they've got two very pacey wingers as well.
They have got two very pacey wings. They haven't bloody used them this year. That's their problem. If they were, more attacking and more open to trying to win a game, Barrow would be doing all right this year.
Yeah, but again, now that their position's safe, does that change the mentality?
I was about to say, I would also say, I mean, I can understand why they would come to us to set up defensively, but equally at the same time, they're already safe. They've got, I had a look whilst you were discussing, they've got 14 players that go out of contract in the summer. So those players are now safe. That team is now safe. So those players are playing for a contract. So I wouldn't be surprised if those pacey wingers get used a little bit more because they want to be used a bit more. But I think Barrow's problem is they do use the long ball, but they also do use those wingers, but they've got nothing up front. And I think, obviously, same as a lot of teams in this in this league, there's only a few that have actually got something up front. But I think it's almost impossible to predict how Barrow are actually going to line up tomorrow because you'll have a tactic of a Phil Brown tactic, get players behind the ball. But also you've got players there, like I say, that are playing for contracts. So they might come at us a little bit more.
Just on that point, Woody, both their wingers are on loan players. So it's I understand what you're saying. But I can't see Phil Brown. Jordan Stevens, yeah, Robbie Gotts.
Cool. Both Leeds, aren't they?
Yeah. So I can't see. In Phil Brown's mind, he wants to win the game, and I'm pretty sure that he's aware that the only way he wins that game is to absorb our pressure and try and hit us on the counter by whacking a long ball. That's the only real way that Barrow can beat us. I can't see another way that they're going to be able to outpass us. They're not going to.
There's no team in the league that can outpass us, though, is there?
No,
team in the league. No team in the league. Any team this season that's tried to play football against us, we've absolutely battered. Exactly. And that's why I agree with both of what Woody and Ned have said there. That like Barrow are going to be unpredictable because of the situation they're in. But I also agree that the most sensible way to play if they want to win the game is to soak it up and whatever. But I think from our point of view, we've got to match their physicality because they're going to be long balls. They got is it Amadi Holloway or whatever his name is up front? Big unit, pacey, wins the ball in the air. We've got to cope with that. We've got to cope with the pacey wingers, and if we play our game, we'll win. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Just one more thing before I go around and ask everyone for their score prediction. Craig, I'll start with you on this one. When it's come to, let's think of an example, slightly different circumstances, of course, but when it came to Oldham, there was a lot of talk about Sheridan wants to win because it's Swindon. Is that the same for Phil Brown?
No, I wouldn't have thought so because it wasn't as toxic for him when he left. It just sort of fizzled out. We weren't going. It wasn't great, obviously, at the time. But no, I don't think. He'll obviously want to get one over on his old team and try and prove a point to the fans. But there wasn't sort of. I don't recall it on social media or within the crowd being too anti Phil Brown, there was plenty of us who wanted him to go because he was shit. But yeah, I don't think I don't think that's going to be too much into play for tomorrow.
I might just title this episode "Everyone and every team that isn't Swindon is shit."
I never said Barrow was shit. I said he was shit, but. Yeah.
No, but I'm sure between all of you, you've referenced someone or something being shit tonight.
League Two.
Yeah, we're just Johnny Big Bollocks now, aren't we? Because we've had three, a couple of wins on the bounce.
Does anyone have any specific points about Brown's time here, or was it very nondescript and not even worth remembering?
Yeah, we were sort of hurtling towards out the league, weren't we? We were about 18th when he was 5. I remember a game, we were home to Cambridge and we got beat 2-0. and it was toxic. The game was horrible to watch. The town end were giving Lancashire absolute belters, and he actually gave the thumbs up to the town end when we were giving him shit. And I looked at Phil Brown at the time, and usually he's barking. He was just looked lost. He looked clueless, with his arms folded. He didn't know what to do, and we were getting battered by a pretty average Cambridge side. And I thought, we're in trouble. We might go out of the league this season.
I would recommend taking your dog to the vet if that's how it's barking.
But no, that's how he shouts out. I remember sitting his purple suit, and his son just bark at everyone. It's just quite funny. But the bloke himself's actually generally quite a nice bloke. And I don't think anyone at Swindon disliked him. No one liked Sheridan because he was a horrible man. But no one disliked Phil Brown. He was generally quite nice. And I hope all the best for Phil Brown. And I wish him all the best at Barrow. I hope we get stuff him tomorrow. But I hope he does really. I'm chuffed that he kept them up.
To be honest with you, I think with Brown's time at Swindon, obviously it was very, very mixed. Obviously he got some draws, there was games where we actually played some really good football and stuff like that, but I think towards the end of his time at Swindon, from what I recall, we were just struggling to get through games, to be honest with you. I mean, I remember we had York in the FA Cup or something like that, which was his last game, and we won 2-1. But and I think, I don't know whether or not we were all quite surprised when obviously he got sacked, because he got sacked after a win, like sort of thing like that. I know it was York and stuff like that, but you know, whenever a manager gets sacked after a win, like, you know, it's always a bit strange that they don't get.
Richie was lined up.
At least the truth, you know. But
I think as well with Phil Brown, he did have one summer transfer window, but he did have a lot of shit in that squad that Flitcroft had signed. Yeah. So, you know, he was kind of hamstrung a bit by that. But
Ollie Lancashire.
Yeah, there was a lot.
That's exactly the point I was about to make.
I hated him.
We spent a lot of money that summer as well, didn't we? Under Flitcroft initially. So yeah, I think, you know, he had his hands tied a little bit with that.
I personally don't think Rich likes defenders. I just don't think he likes defenders. Every Swindon player he has a strong dislike for.
To be fair, Fyfe, Ollie Lancashire was fucking shit.
He was so bad. I remember Crewe away in 2019 season, and they beat us when we went to their place. They won 3-1, and he came on as a substitute, and they scored their third goal in like the 90th minute or something like that. And Ollie Lancashire came up and was giving it all that to the Swindon fans. Honestly,
I mentioned to my when we went to Harrogate a couple of weeks ago, I said to my daughter that their number 6 was the worst professional footballer I'd ever seen, but I'd actually forgotten about Ollie Lancashire because he was that bad. So the Harrogate number 6 is actually the second worst footballer.
Well, I do feel we may have veered off topic slightly. So let's go round and get the score predictions then. I will start with Craig.
2-1 Town.
Ben?
I don't like to predict because we always lose and I say we win, but I think we'll win. I think, the missus says we're going to lose 1-0. I think we're going to win 3-0.
Okay. Woody?
I agree with Ben. I think it's going to be 3-0.
Rich?
3-1. I reckon they'll get a consolation.
Joe?
I think it's going to be edgy, but I think we'll just about nick it by a goal. So 1-0.
And Ned?
Oh, it's either going to be a hammering or it's going to be really close. I can't work out which one.
It's normally one or the other, isn't it?
4-1.
Either hammer a team or beach team.
Yeah.
You interrupted his prediction.
One thing I've noticed this season, I don't know how many we've had of these, but if we don't seem to beat them at home, we beat them away, and if we don't beat them away, we beat them at home. Like, I haven't gone through all the games this season, but if you look at it,
Ned's on it.
Yeah,
I think it's only Exeter that have done the double on us.
Yeah, exactly.
Be an interesting stat to know, that's for sure.
Yeah, so
off the top of my head, anyway, I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you on that one. Yeah, no, I can't think of any other teams either.
Well, my prediction, for all it's worth, I'm pretty much going along the same line as Joe. I think, although I'm confident we can get the win, I think it might be a bit nervy, a bit edgy, particularly to begin with. I'm going to say 2-1. A 2-1 win for Town. Before we go, gents, there's just one other thing I wanted to do. As this is a bonus episode, we haven't done a mailbag or anything, but there was one thing I did want to say. A good friend of the show, his Twitter handle, Ocus Road, put out on his Twitter recently that he'd had some health issues. And just on behalf of you guys, I hope you don't mind, but I just wanted to send all of our best to him. I think Ned's dropped him a message. I have from our Twitter. I think Ben might have done as well.
Yeah.
And maybe some of you other guys have. But yeah, dropped him a message. Check. He does seem okay. He seems fine. He's recovering well, and he says that he's getting himself as ready as he can be for Wembley. So all being well, the team will get there so that he can see us one more time live this season. But knowing that he will watch and or listen to this episode as well, get well soon, mate. We're all sending our best to you.
Yeah, all the best, Lucas.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send all our thoughts to Link's family as well. I don't know if they're seeing this, but
yes,
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Well said.
I reckon, Fyfe, there's one more shout out that you should do as well.
Is there?
Yeah, for your son.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Ned. Yes. So anyone who's followed whether it's Facebook or Twitter, will see that I've been posting a lot about my son this week. He's 13 and he's grading for his black belt in mixed martial arts this weekend. So tonight, just before we started recording, I've just dropped him off. He's done stage 1. He's done the mental assessment. He had a 5-hour session with all the other black belt recommendees. It was all to do with like meditation, and they've had to write speeches about themselves, and they've started delivering them in front of the whole group and stuff. Tomorrow, he's got I think it's a 9-hour technical grading, all the punches, kicking, combination sparring, that kind of thing. And then Sunday morning, they all go out to Bradgate Park, which is a bit like Coatwater or Lydiard Park down there, for 7 o'clock Sunday morning for 3-hour physical testing, which starts with a run around, and then there's like a massive hill where they've got to carry weight bags and press ups, sit ups, burpees, all that kind of thing. So yeah, he's doing that, and I'm just very proud that it's, COVID delayed it probably 2 years for him. He's been waiting to do this black belt, but yeah, I'm very proud that he's turned up, because he's been stressing himself out about it. But he's done phase 1, and he came out and he said that he feels like he's benefited from it. So hopefully he can take that into the rest of the weekend, and by Sunday night be a black belt. Here's hoping.
Well
good
done,
lad. Good lad.
Yeah, good luck.
Good lad.
No, thank you, guys. I appreciate that, and thank you for your time on a Friday night as well. Very much appreciated. I think that's all left to say is, come on, you Reds. Let's bring home those 3 points.
Come on, Reds.
From all of us here at Fools Rush In. Goodbye.